friends, good morning and good evening everyone. Welcome back to our channel ALP Talks, General and Electrical Aspects. So, in this session, we are going to discuss transformer construction. So, this is a third video in this series. So, let's discuss about this transformer construction. So, I hope you people have watched the many parts of this video. If you didn't watch it, the details available in the description. You can watch other parts of this video also. So, what are the different types of transformers available and what it is the construction? Generally, what are the basic types of transformers? So, we have two types of transformers. Generally, we will say core type transformers, and another one we will say cell type transformers. So, what is these core type and cell type transformers? These two type differs from each other by only the way in which windings are wound around the magnetic core. So, in which way the windings were wound around the magnetic core, it differs, that's it. Remaining all things are similar. So, the magnetic core is a stack of thin laminations. Say, for example, we will write like this, right? So, normal transformer. So, here we will write like a core. This is the core. So, if you take a transformer, single phase transformer, it is like this. So, single phase transformer, it is like this. So, whatever it is there, I am just hatching the area. So, this is the core now. So, this is the core actually. So, the core is magnetic core. It is not a single piece. It is a stack of silicon steel laminations. So the thickness will be like 0.252, 0.23, 0.27, 0.3, 0.35. Like this, the thickness of these laminations will be there. These are in mm. So small laminations are grouped together to form this bulky core. So these are for generally for 50 or 60 Hz transformers. We will use these cores, this type thickness of core laminations. So mainly we are going for these laminations, small laminations, mainly to reduce eddy current loss. So these laminations are insulated from each other. Generally, say for example, say this is one lamination, one sheet of lamination. On that we will place another sheet. On that we will place another sheet of lamination, another sheet of lamination like this. There are number of laminations together. They will form one small. The core can be rectangular or circular cross section. So each lamination is separated from one another by some small insulation. We will say Carlite insulation. So small insulation coating will be there on these laminations. So for reducing the core losses, nearly all transformers have their magnetic core made from cold rolled grain oriented steel. So for reducing in 1950 or something, so the cores, we don't have proper core. Those days people were simply using normal iron as a core, or non grain oriented things core also they are using it. But nowadays better technology is available, so we can use this CRGO, cold rolled grain oriented steel, for reducing this lamination. So this material where magnetized in the roaring direction has a low core loss and very high permeability. So that is the major important of this CRGO material. So how things are there in this. So let's go to the topic of our discussion. So our discussion is core type and shell type. So in core type transformers, what happens? The windings surrounds a considerable part of steel core. So for example, this is the steel core. On this, simply we will take one lamp. So like this, we will keep on wind it. So like this, windings surround the portion of the core. So this is what happens in core type transformers. And what about shell type transformers? In shell type transformers, so it is a little bit different. So you can see here, say like this. I am just trying to draw. So like this. So this is the shell type transformer. In shell type transformers, so how the windings are placed? The windings can be placed, for example, so like this one winding will be there, like this another winding we can place. So this is one way. Another way is simply, say let's erase and try it again. So another way available is sandwiching the windings, LV and HV windings. So first we will place small LV. So only thing is LV winding we will divide into 3 portions, and say here HV will be there. So here HV winding will be there. So 3 LV and 1 HV will be there. So middle portion of LV will be bigger in size. We will say LV by 2, and last portions will be LV by 4. HV is like HV by 2. Here HV is like HV by 2. So in this way also the shell type transformers will be there. Only thing is the core, whatever core is there, that surrounds the majority of the windings. So well, the thing is, in this material you need more copper. So in core type material, for example, if it is copper winding, you need more copper and less core is required. But in this shell type material, you can see here more core is required, because core is surrounding the windings, and more core is required, less copper is required, because windings are all closer to each other and only placed on one limb. So what are the different terminologies we will use with these transformers and all? So here the vertical portions, whatever it is there, we will say leg. The vertical portions we will say leg, and the horizontal portions we will say, this can be called as limb also, leg or limb. So these horizontal portions we will say yoke. So this one is bottom yoke, and this one is top yoke. So this is a leg, and this region, whatever it is there, we will say corner region. This region we will say corner region. So this is about this guy. So in these core type of transformers, you can see majorly 2 limbs, 2 legs, and 2 yoke. This is in single phase transformers. So here you can see 3 legs. We have 3 number of legs, and similarly 2 yokes you have still. So this is about this, guys. This means for single phase applications, core type has a 2-legged core, whereas shell type has a 3-legged core. And the main thing is the flux distribution are different in each case. For example, here, so the flux distribution is same throughout the magnetic core path. So the flux is phi, that's it. Flux is same, but here the flux distribution is different. Different with this sense, the center limb, whatever it is there, will carry full flux. The side limbs will carry only half of the flux. So if phi is the total flux, it will carry phi by 2, phi by 2. Center limb will carry full flux. So as in center limbs will form, center limb is the main limb, and side limbs are just for housing the returning for path for returning flux. So iron core transformers, most of the flux is confined to the magnetic core, because the permeability is very high. So but in what happens in there is chances for some flux leaks through the surrounding parts. Say for example, say this is primary winding. So whatever flux is developing here, so all the flux may not confine to the core. Some of the flux may leak here. So we will say leakage flux. Some flux will leak here. So that the flux, whatever it is there, we will say leakage flux. Those leakage flux will travel through non-magnetic path. So it can non-magnetic path can be air also. Sometimes for air core transformer also will be there. So this flux is not desirable. So we have to minimize this leakage flux. So the effort is always made to reduce this. So in core type transformer, this is achieved by placing half of the low voltage winding. So we will discuss. I am just erasing these things so that we can discuss it again now. So in these core type transformers, instead of how we can minimize this leakage flux. So instead of placing LV winding on one limb, HV winding on another limb, generally what we will do is, so we will place half of the LV winding and half of the HV winding here, and similarly half of the LV winding, half of the HV winding on another limb. So what we did is LV by 2, LV by 2 and HV by 2. Similarly here also we have HV by 2. This is the core type transformers. So in these transformers, so just we place the LV over HV. So what happens is the leakage flux will be very low. So it is very good for us. And one more thing, generally LV winding is placed nearer to the core. So this is also one of the interview question. In transformers, why LV winding is placed nearer to the core with other than HV winding? Because the core is at earth potential, transformer core is at earth potential 0, and if we are placing any winding nearer to the core means we have to maintain the clearances. So low voltage winding needs lower clearances, so lower space is required. So that is the reason we are placing low voltage coil nearer to the core, and high voltage winding will be on over the low voltage winding. Yeah. So in core type transformer, flux has a single path only, like we discussed earlier. But in shell type, the flux has two different paths for travel. And this core type transformers we will use in very high voltage and high power cases. And the shell type transformer, whatever we discussed, that we will use in the shell type transformers we will use in very low power applications. And there are some cases transportation limitations will be there. So whenever we have transportation limitations in power transformers also, we will go for these shell type transformers. So there are two types of winding employed for these transformers, both core or shell type. So generally the winding types are concentrical coils. So mostly the concentric coils we will use on this side. Concentric coil is nothing but, say this is the one center axis, we will start winding here. So all turns will see similar center. See, this is the concentric coil. And for the shell type winding, we will prefer like a sandwich. Part of winding will be there, LV winding will be there, and HV winding and LV winding and HV winding and LV. So it is like a sandwich of all the windings together. So in this one type of laminations for a core and type, this is the picture guys. So how these laminations were joined together. So here the joint will be there. So we have some concepts like a butt joint. So how these laminations were joined together to form the core. So we need in very small transformers, what happens is they will take L-type laminations. So like this L-type laminations will be there. So like this L-type laminations will be there. So this is one L, this is another L. So with this they just frame the core laminations. So how the joint will be there here. For example, say this is one lamination, on that we place another lamination. So if you are placing all laminations together, how we will form the joint here? Say this is another lamination, right? So what we have to do is we have to place adjacent to it. So here we have air gap now. So here we have air gap now. If air gap is there means its permeability is less, so flux path will be deviated. We need more energy or more current for magnetizing the core in those places. So what we will do is we will go for a different approach. So first we will place one lamination, and then what we will do, we are going to place another lamination like this, one over the other. So another lamination we just placed on it. So now what happens? There is proper locking is there. There is no continuous air gap. For example, in this case, the air gap is continuous. If continuous air gap is there means it is mechanically not strong. Mechanically not strong. So chances for collapse and all is very high in these cases. But here all laminations are locked together one over the other. So it is like a self-locking. They all together will form self-locking. So these type of laminations we are doing nowadays. So these we can say butt lapping. We can say butt lapping, and there are many things also there. So for example, instead of here, what happens is, let me draw this only this view. So for example, this is one lamination. Here what we are doing is we are placing another lamination. So what happens is, whatever the flux traveling here like this, you can see here it is experiencing one air gap here, one air gap path, and it is traveling here. Here also it will experience another air gap path. So two number of air gap are available at this corner itself. So we have 4 corners. So 8 number of air gap path is available. It is not generally advisable to keep that many air gaps in the core. So what we will do is here. So this is say this is one lamination. This is one lamination. We will have this is another lamination. Only thing is it is like cut. That's it. So we are joining these two laminations together by using this cut like this. Okay. So that whatever flux is traveling, it takes only one air gap path. So this we will say metered joint. So this type of air gaps are there. So these type of joints are available for us. So those plays a major role in this core, in this transformer core. So in the transformer construction, what are the other things we have to take care? First they will do LV. First they will do LV winding. Say first they will take one mandrel. They will simply start winding LV winding. So LV winding is ready with 2 leads. Similarly, they will take another mandrel. They will simply do HV winding, and HV winding is ready with 2 terminals. Now we already have core with us. So what we will do is, first remove the top yoke. First insert the LV winding with the 2 leads, and on that insert the HV winding with the 2 leads. Now similarly on other limb also we are going to install LV and HV winding. Now just place the top yoke. That's it. Transformer is assembled. And there is one more thing. What we will use is, we will use transformers oil. So all these transformers, for dissipating the heat and for a dielectric purpose, what we will do is, we are going to place these transformers in the oil. So we have mineral oil. We will place the transformer in the oil. So what happens is, I am just erasing these things. So we will place this transformer in the housing. Okay. So we place the transformer in the housing. We will join both windings in series or parallel. We will bring the bushings to the top. So all the things will be immersed in the transformer oil. So we will provide some base arrangement so that a transformer can be placed on any place. So this is the arrangement guys. So for protecting the transformer from external excess pressure, we can provide a small pressure releasing device here. We will say PRD, pressure relief device we can place so that the whatever excess pressure is there, it can be released. And say if overload is there, very high voltage is there, I mean very high load is there, the transformer oil will expand, tank may burst. To provide space for expansion, oil expansion, we will place one conservator. So this is the support for this. So this is the conservator. So this is the all these are parts of the transformer construction. This is the conservator. So the normal tank itself may not dissipate the entire heat in the transformer. So we need some cooling for these transformers. So we can place some extra space for cooling. So like this, we can provide some cooling. So for say it is open now. So what happens is oil will flows into this cooling arrangement. So from top the oil will flow and it will leave here. So like this, the oil will dissipate into this atmosphere. There are different types of cooling arrangements also available. We will discuss those in the coming days. Here we will place it is not like this. So if the path is like this, here we will place a Buchholz relay. Buchholz relay we will place on this transformer for collecting the gas and for giving any alarm or trip signals, so that the transformer is safe and the circuit can be turned off from the circuit. So these are the different construction points guys. So these things are available for us for construction. So mostly the power frequency range is like for example 25 to 400 hertz. These are the transformers mainly you constructed with up to 0.27 to 0.23 to 0.35 mm lamination thick. These transformers were constructed. So we will say silicon steel. We will say silicon steel laminations we will use for this range of transformers. So there are some audio frequency range like 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So there are these type of transformers also. For this type of transformers, we can't use this much lamination thick because there will be excessive loss and all. So what we will do is we will use a powdered ferromagnetic material. So these are power frequency range transformers. So these are power frequency type. This is audio frequency type. So for this audio frequency type communication circuits or transformers in electronic circuits, we can use powdered ferromagnetic. So that is a type of alloy. We will use this material in the transformers. So mainly in special cases, magnetic circuits of transformers may be made of non-magnetic material like transformers referred as air core transformers. So those type of transformers are also there. Air core transformers is primarily used in radio devices and in certain type of measuring and testing instruments. We will use these air core transformers. And there are some certain cores made of soft ferrite also. So soft ferrite also is there. So there are certain cores made with this soft ferrite also, mainly for pulse transformers as well as for high frequency electronic transformers. So third one is pulse transformers. So these transformers, soft ferrites also we can use. Yeah, there are different other different things also available. We will discuss those in detail in coming days in a detailed discussion. Yeah, thank you guys. This is about transformer construction in a simple way. So we will discuss many more details in the coming days. I hope the video and information, the discussion topic is useful to you. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, then do comment in comment section. And if you are watching this video for the first time, then do subscribe to this channel so that whenever I am uploading videos, you will get notifications. You can simply hit and watch it. Yeah. Okay guys. So thank you. Thanks for watching. We will meet in next video with principle of transformer operation and other things. Yeah, bye for this video guys.